Hi, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everyone. I'm so very happy to see all of you back online at AI42 together with our amazing free AI MVPs, free girls from Avanade, which is amazing to
Right.
be here together. I'm so happy to welcome Gosha, who is my partner in crime at AI42, and
Hello.
my other partner in crime at Avanade, Priyanka. Welcome, both of you.
Hey, thank you, Eve. So happy to see the Avanad girls.
I'm also very happy. It's going to be a very special session today because we are going to bring in. Uh, Priyanka is also Microsoft AI MVP, and she has 10 years of experience in analysis, design, and implementation of cloud and digital systems. And she is also a regular speaker at global events for AI and machine learning. That's where we meet many times, actually, right, Priyanka?
Yes, that's
And
right.
can you tell a little bit more about what you're doing at Avanade exactly?
So right now, I work as the AI IoT offering lead, so technology leadership at Avanad, which means I have a target to expand the AI business in Southeast Asia, right? So Avanad in the AI space, especially knowledge mining space, right? We are expecting a lot of traction with natural language processing, text analytics, translation, speech to text, text to speech, these kind of things, and some traction also with video analytics. So yeah, so we are meeting customers, making POCs, MVPs, and then trying to scale out to a bigger production grade, enterprise grade projects. So that is something which we are currently working on. Also, graduate training, graduate hires. So reskilling new graduate hires in Azure and AI and Azure machine learning. So yep,
And yes,
exciting times.
yeah, this is the place of advertisement, I guess, because if anyone is interested in joining our Vanad family, then please reach out to us so we can have a chat about how can we help you in getting in there. And you
Yeah,
also
absolutely.
mentioned that you are working mostly with different cognitive services, which is amazing that is helping us in building a total no-code solution for AI. But this is
Correct.
what you will be talking more about later on.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah.
Before we get there, give us a few minutes with Gosha where we can quickly give an intro to AI42.
Sure.
I don't know where is that. There we go. So there we go, back again. Gosha, could you tell a few words about AI42, please?
Yeah, sure. So, the motivation for starting AI42 comes from the recognition that there is no good starting material. And AI42 is a strong team consisting of three Microsoft AI MVPs that strive to provide you with a valuable series of lecture that will help you jumpstart your career in data science and artificial intelligence. AI42 aims to provide you with the necessary know how that can help land your dream job as long as it's related for the fields of data science or machine learning. The concept is simple and involves professionals from all around the globe explaining to you the underlying mathematics, statistics, probability calculation, data science, and machine learning techniques. We will guide you through. All you have to do is follow our channel, enjoy the content every second week, filled with real life cases and expert experience. And don't you worry, we all started from the scratch and we are happy to help you build up from there. You can always stop and rewind the videos or ask the clarification in the comment section. We hope to assist you on this wonderful journey and have you as a speaker one day. By creating cross collaboration with other organizations, we can give the best opportunities to broaden your network in AI and data science communities. With the combination of our offer services, we will support less fortunate people and organizations that are not that recognized yet, even though they deserve it. Our organization is supported by Microsoft and Miles, and we are humbled by all the support we get from our contributors as well. Thank you for Levent program for all the beautiful graphics content and Maya Mari for the cool intro music before our events. We are also in close collaboration with C Sharp Current and Global AI community, so our lectures are going to be available also on their YouTube channel, additionally to our own media. And Nicolette taught, create, and review all our text content we use on our website or Advent Magazine and during our sessions. You can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter to become a part of a growing community where we share knowledge and fun. You'll find every information that will bring you to an advanced level in the field of AI and data science. You can as well watch our recorded session on the YouTube channel and find our upcoming session on the Meetup page. And the last important thing is that we have a code of conduct, so outline expectation for participation in our community, as well as step for reporting unacceptable behavior. And we are committed to providing you a welcoming, inspiring community for all. So be friendly, patient, be welcoming, and be respectful with each other. So with
Thank
this,
you,
I
Gosha.
think we can bring the Priyanka back.
Just 1 second. Welcome back, Priyanka. How do you feel, by the way?
Oh, nice, excited.
That's really good to hear because we are also very excited and can't wait to hear and learn about cognitive services today. So, if you're ready and if you are okay to take away the stage, I'm going to switch it over for you.
Sure. Yep. All right. Hey, so thank you, Eve, and for the generous introduction. And let's go live with the DIY cognitive services session today. All right. So I'm going to switch off my mic for it. It is distracting me from my own session. All right. And then let us begin. I'm going to switch to presenter mode. All right. So the session itself, right? So do it yourself. So DIY AI with Azure Cognitive Services, so which means the title itself makes the agenda pretty clear. How are we going to deal with AI infusing intelligence into our applications with the help of cognitive services? So a lot of people, most of the time, pose.
Priyanka, sorry, you are sharing the presenter view.
Oh, sorry. Okay. All right. Is this okay? All right. Okay. So the title itself, right, DIY, that is amply clear what are we going to do today. A lot of people typically come up with the question, right, like getting into AI or doing AI, is it rocket science? It does it require advanced coding skills and stuff. So with this today's session, we will see and we'll experience how easy it is to infuse intelligence into our applications for a variety of things, for implementing vision, for implementing face recognition, for implementing text analytics. So it is pretty straightforward, right? With the help of out of the box AI, which is provided by cognitive services. So the agenda would flow something as follows. We will look at the basics, concepts and types of cognitive services, some tutorials, and then there will be lots of demos. Okay, so throughout explaining the different concepts and different prototypes. Brief overview. So I am the AI IoT leadership at Avanade, Microsoft AI MVP, which is at Fuzzy Mind One. So, as it is aptly said, right, AI nowadays is not a luxury anymore. So, it has become a necessity, absolute necessity. So, all our applications, whether it to be the traditional, data warehouses, data mining, customer facing databases, all of those more than ever are in search of adding that extra layer of analytics, right? I mean, having a customer engagement via analytics, having, AI analyze the industry throughput and come back to you with suggestions about your manufacturing processes, about, smart cameras, smart IoT devices, smart digitalization platforms, all of these things and more, which has rendered AI as a necessity and not like, a good to have stuff anymore. So which is where Azure Cognitive Services step in, and what they provide us is a customizable pre-trained AI, right? Pre-trained models with state of the art AI. So these models are continuously undergoing a lot of transformations, precision, and preview. Okay, and then we can deploy them anywhere into the cloud and to the edge with the help of containers, and then, we those models come in governed with responsible AI. So they are infused with the responsible AI framework and guidelines, ethical and responsible AI and guidelines, right? So what are the Azure cognitive services which we talk about? So these cognitive services are nothing but APIs and SDKs, right? Which are rendered for the developers, use of developers, and the developers can consume them to build applications, right? So basically, let's say if I want to call like a face recognition API, I just need to know the endpoint, right? Some like HTTPS and some, for example, Azure Cognitive Services.com, and then pass in some request body, like, the JPEG image, for example, in which I want to recognize a face or stuff like that. So AI, is as simple as that. You just need to call an endpoint. You need to create an endpoint on the portal, call the endpoint, and then boom, JSON file will give you back your result, right? So we'll see all of that and much more in action today. So these are nothing but APIs and software development kits available for users to plug into their applications. Then the target is to bring AI within the realm of every developer, right? So it's like you need not know Python or machine learning or a lot of data science basics for you to start with your AI journey, and you can easily create applications that can mimic your human behavior. So applications that can speak, hear, understand, and even sort of begin to reason, right? So reasoning, decision making, and these are broadly divided into vision, speech, language, web search, and decision making, the type of cognitive services. So this is just another classification level here. In language, we have language understanding, text analytics, Q&A maker, translation. In speech, you have speech to text, text to speech, speaker recognition, speech translation. In vision, you have computer vision, custom vision, face recognition, form recognizer, video indexer. And in decision making, you have anomaly detector, personalizer, content moderator, and then you have a plethora of web search related cognitive services. So we'll try to cover language today, a bit of vision, and also speech. So once, we come to know about how to consume one sort of cognitive services, like let's say NLP here, language here, the pattern will be same for most of them. But we will see a lot of fun demos and tutorials, and in general have a lot of fun today with the type of cognitive services. Okay. So, a lot of people then come and ask us these two basic questions. When do I use cognitive services vis-a-vis your normal machine learning, right? So, when you want to use a generalized solution and you can easily repurpose the REST APIs and SDKs which are offered as a service by cloud platforms, so AI as a service by cloud platforms, then you can use cognitive services. For example, for your normal text like language sentiment mining, or your language detection, whether this language is English or Deutsch or French or Greek. So for that, all of that thing, we have state of the art pre-trained cloud models. You can consume them and you can get your answer quickly. So when you have this generalized use case, you can use your cognitive services. And when you have a very specific use case, like you want to train a particular model on some entity, on some enterprise related information or entities, then you can go and use custom machine learning, where you will probably build your own, label your own data and create your own models, train your own models on that data and stuff like that. But for most of the generic use cases out there, you can always start with cognitive services. Then later on, you can also infuse cognitive services and your custom learning machine learning models, and scale them out altogether to build complex applications. So what are the type of services, right? In vision, you have computer vision, custom vision. Okay, so custom vision for deploying your own, training your own model. So if I want to create a model for sort of training and labeling objects and trying to classify them as probably like apple or banana, or an orange at a very simplistic level. So for that, your own custom classification, you have custom vision. In computer vision, you have your normal things, like trying to understand an image, detect objects in an image, or trying to extract optical character recognition, trying to extract text from an image. So those are the computer vision. And finally, you have a dedicated API for face, wherein you have face recognition and all the face attributes, like color of the hair, and what are your emotions and those kind of things. In speech services, you have speech APIs, where it will give you speech to text, text to speech, and the speech translation. Like when I'm speaking the audio stream, I can translate from one language to another, so from a source language and target language. And there are over, I think almost all of the world languages are supported here for speech translations and speech to text, text to speech. So speech service enables us to do that. Language APIs are complex and more diverse, right? So language APIs, they will enable us to have for language services, which itself fall into a lot of categories. So it's the entire NLP suite, natural language processing suite, will fall under the language service, where you can have entity recognition, you have key phrases, you have personalized personal identifiable information, you will have entity linking, you will have entity relationship extraction. So all of these things fall under the paradigm of language service. Translator, again, machine based translator from one language to another in real time. Language understanding is for conversational flow. So when for building bots especially, or building a dialogue flow between human and a machine, we have natural language understanding, which is LUIS. And finally, you have Q&A maker, which allows us to build a question and answer mechanism, right? So I ask something based on some text corpus which I have, and the machine understands the context and gets back to me with the and with the definitive answer. So that is Q&A maker. So all of these together, or separately, are also used for building bots, your virtual assistants. Okay. Decision APIs are basically, detecting something anomalous in your data. So you have time series data, and you have to detect abnormalities in them. Content moderation, like for providing signals for offensive, undesirable, or adulterated content, risky content. And personalizer is where you can personalize what to show to the users based on their interactions with the system. So personalizer and decision APIs are a bit more, how should I say, like in detailed, right? And we will be able to cover them more rigorously in future sessions. But today we'll try to cover the simplicity in which cognitive services can be consumed in our applications. So features of cognitive services are, they are out of the box. OOB is out of the box AI, very easy to use, flexible deployment, and built-in security. So whatever data you upload it's very safe. Azure cloud is not using your invading your privacy or storing anything on the cloud at all. Whatever you send to the APIs for your AI purposes. Okay. So let us look at some of the use cognitive services. It will be all more or less demos now. All right. Okay. So I will first show you on the portal itself. You need to create a cognitive service resource. Okay. And then we will move on to progressively demos, and we'll move on to how to consume the APIs. All right. So let me go here and on the portal, on your Azure portal. So I have signed in with my subscription. And then as you can see, once I go here, okay, when you create a resource, you can create in general like a all-in-one cognitive service resource, or you can create a cognitive resource for each service which you want. So I want a speech service resource, I can create that. So see, speech service. Okay, so speech. Okay, a speech to text. So speech, I can create a speech resource, speech cognitive resource here, right? Where it can and it will tell me what all my resource is able to do, right? I can create a language resource, I can create a vision resource, and I can also create an in general cognitive resource which I can repurpose. So this, as you can see, cognitive services multi-service account, right? So this sort of a resource will be able to reuse for all scenarios. Like one resource I create, I will be able to use it for vision, for speech, for text, for language analytics and stuff like that. Okay, so here I go and I look at oh, yeah, so you create a cognitive services resource here, right? And then as you can see, it is a bundle which you will be able to access vision, language, search, speech. All right, so all of the basic most of the cognitive services you will be able to reuse here. And I create that cognitive service resource, and then I will be able to use it in my applications. Okay, so now how do I consume that cognitive service resource? From where does the AI come? And how can I call that API in my function to give me all the intelligence which I need? All right, so I've created the resource. As you can see, I will not create a new resource. I was just showing you how to create that resource. So I have a cognitive services resource created here. As you can see, it's a multi-service account. Okay, and the key things which we are interested to use this resource to give us the intelligence which we need are the keys and endpoint. How to use that, I'll come to that shortly. Okay, but then we need the endpoint. So normally, when we call a REST API, right, when we are calling a REST microservice or a REST web API, typically you will have the endpoint like https dot some service dot some domain dot com. Okay, and then you will have the query string, right? So like id equals to so and so, or version equals to so and so, right? And you might have the get or post request. So it's a get request, it's a post request. You will have the request body, you will have the post body, you will have parameters if there are any, and that's how your request is formed. Okay, much the same way when you're trying to consume a cognitive service in your application to give you the required AI, to give you the required intelligence which you want, either for images or for text or for anything else, right? You are going to use this endpoint, which is like the starting point. You will also need the key here, right? So this is the sort of authentication mechanism, which is like only once you have the key here, it will be your request will be authenticated, there will be a handshaking, and then you will be able to pass the request body parameters, and then get or post your request, and you will get back the response in JSON format, right? So let us see, for example, if I want to use a key phrase extraction from my text. Okay, we will come to what is key phrase extraction, or what is text analytics and all of those good stuff. Okay, but just bear with me for some time. I just want to show you that how easy it is if I want to extract key phrases from my text. Key phrases from my text meaning, let's say, if I have to, if I have a huge document running into probably thousands of words, or like multiple pages, then as an AI, as a natural language processing AI, I would like my AI to come back to me with some of the salient features of my document. Give me some of the keywords and key phrases from my sentences or from my text corpus, which will enable me to tag my documents. So when we are sort of tagging our tweets, or we are tagging our LinkedIn content with hash Azure AI or hash MVP buzz and stuff like that, so this key phrase and key phrases and key terms enables us to tag our documents, or sort of enable us to classify our documents together. It gives us the most important things that my document is telling us, this key phrases. Okay, so that is a sort of natural language processing requirement. We will revisit that once we look at the language resources, then language basics. But then let's say if we want to call a key phrase analytics API function, then how do we do it, right? So with I mean, you need to, first of all, it's a post request, right? So you're posting your request to the endpoint. So endpoint in our case here is the endpoint which is provided to you by your cognitive service resource which you created, right? So this is the endpoint. Then what are you doing? You're calling the text analytics and version 3.0. So there are different versions. If you look, if you go on the portal itself, you will come to know here you have 3.0 and 3.1, right? So we are looking into the, and 3.1 is preview version. So right now we are experimenting with the 3.0 stable version, right? So if you click here, right, it will give you all the required steps. So you have a post request. You will put the endpoint which we have here in our cognitive service resource, and what you're calling the text analytics. The version is 3.0. Key phrases, right? So you're calling the extract key phrases functionality of NLP, and then you will be giving the subscription key here, right? So you will have the subscription key, which is the key which you see here, right? Which is the key which you see here. And then you will be giving the request body, right? So it will be text file which you give, okay, right? And then it could be application.json or text.json, and you will be giving your file, and then you will be able to then get the response. So once you send the request, you will be getting the response. And they've also given you for example successful examples of successful request, right? So here you are giving the request, right? And you can copy it and use it in Postman or any other web API, Swagger, or any other API testing application, right? So normally I do it with Postman to check the API responses, and whether my formation of the API request itself was correct or not, right? So you're going to do the post request, your endpoint key phrases. This is your subscription key, and this is going to be your request body in JSON, right? So I will give a list of documents in which I want to do key phrase analysis. Okay, so for example, the text is hello world. This is some input text, or it's in French language, bonjour, or then some other language here. And then you will be able to, the response you will get is key phrases, right? Key phrases which you are in whatever language. So there are multiple languages here. It is English, this is French, this is Spanish, and then you will be getting back the keywords, key phrases of your response, I mean, of your request body. All right. So very easy. You just need to give the API. You need to give the request, okay, and then depending on whether it was key phrase, or whether it was sentiment analysis, or whether it was language detection, you will get back your response. All right. So this is how you will be embedding the APIs in your code, right? Whether you're writing a C sharp, whether you're writing a JavaScript code, whether you're writing a Python code, you will be embedding. This is the API call which you make. Again, important things are to have the endpoint and the access keys. And then you will be sending the request body. The request body is in JSON format, and your response is also in JSON format, right? And it's very clear, right? I mean, if you look at that, you will be getting back the ID of the document and the key phrases, because you asked for a key phrase extraction. If you asked for an entity extraction, it will be entity extraction. Okay. So now with this sort of an introduction, let us jump headlong into some of the capabilities. Okay, so we will cover language, we will cover vision. In vision we will cover customer and custom and sorry custom and face. Okay, computer custom and face, and then we will touch up upon some of the functionalities of custom vision as well. Okay, so let us go to the language studio. Okay, wherein you can experiment with all the beautiful things of NLP, right? So for that I have created a language resource. Okay, so I can create a language resource. Okay, so I select a language resource which I have created, and yeah. Okay, so now let us, look at some of the functionalities. Again, when you see right on the portal itself, you can try it out. You also have, I will put some links in the chat window for you to try out some of the REST API interfaces as well. Okay, so I'm going to copy this. Okay, when you go here and when you click on this, oh, sorry. Excuse me. All right, when you go here, I'm going to paste this in the chat. Yeah, and I see a lot of questions coming in, right? So a lot of services, which services are more popular with your clients? Gozia, good question. And the services which are more popular with the client, as I said, because language mining is getting a lot of traction in most of the regions out there, which is why NLP, right? So language services are a hit, because as you see, language services are a bundle of offerings. It's not like, custom vision, computer vision, one or two services. It's a bundle of services, right? From finding key phrases, and sentiments, personally identifiable entities, linked entities, and so on and so forth, right? So which is why language services are a definite hit with clients. So let us look at extract key phrases, right? So let's try it out. We can also let's we've visited key phrases. Let us try with PII, personally identifiable information. Okay, so you can see on the portal itself, you can select a lot of languages, right? So you can also type the text and it will auto detect the language, or you can search, like, these are some of the popular languages which are listed. You can also search, right? So let us select English for now. This is the language resource which I have created already. And then you can enter your own text here, or then you can also, also experiment with some of the custom text which is given here, right? But then let us, for example, try something on our own. So let us say uh, Pluto is not a planet of the solar system anymore. Okay, something like that, right? And then um, okay, something, right? So it is not a planet of the solar system anymore, and it was delegated as an asteroid. All right, okay. And then you can just, yeah, and then you can just say, yeah, I acknowledge, this is my acknowledgement, and then you run. Okay, you can look at the result in JSON format, or you can also look at the result normally, like, as a pretty printed result. Okay, so in JSON format, wonderful, it didn't extract any entities, right? So there are no errors. Okay, but then this is the text: Pluto is not a planet anymore of the solar system anymore. And then it was not able to find any entities. Wonderful. Let us look at some of the text. So let's say, I visited the Grand Canyon in Las Vegas, Nevada in December 2021. Okay, something like that, right? Let us try. And then as you can see now, it has extracted out entities, right? So the entities, as you can see, let us look at in pretty printed format, or you can look at in JSON format. Okay, so it has extracted the date time range here, okay, December 2021, right? And then this one, okay. And then this is a personally identifiable information, right? So date of birth or names of people, names of celebrities, all of those things are personally, or geolocations, those will be personally identifiable entities. And it has done that, right? I mean, it is giving me PII information for my PDPA act, or for names of my protecting names of my client and stuff. And then it is telling me, yeah, December 2021 could be a personally identifiable entity, and that's how I can then help to protect that, right? Okay. And again, all of these things are same API calls. Okay, these are API calls, and you get back the result in JSON format, right? Okay, you can always experiment more here. So you are also given the URL here in curl format. Okay, so you see it's a post request. This is the endpoint, right? And then this is the subscription key which used, and then finally you have the request body, see documents, okay. And then this is the text which I want. And what I want a PII recognition, okay. I want a personally identifiable entities recognition, right? So this is, they also give you the API which you have to call in our application. So if you directly use it on the portal, you get the URL also which you can call in our application in curl format. Okay, all right. So let's go back, and I'll show you more interesting things. Okay, so we have custom named entity recognition, also extracting named entities as well. Okay, I will show you I have already done a demo for custom classification. I'll just show you the project and how easy it is for us to tag text, and then we'll move on to our vision demo. Okay, all right. So extract key phrases. When we go to extract key phrases, again, I have selected the language as English. You will have to give the name of the resource which you created for this purpose. Okay, and then I'm not wasting time in adding my own text. Let us look at this text, right? Pike Place Market is my favorite Seattle attraction, correct? So, and then when we run this, right, so then it is giving me the key phrases. It has given me Pike Place Market and then favorite Seattle attraction. JSON format also, Pike Place Market was one of the key phrase, and favorite Seattle attraction was another key phrase. So as you can see here, it has more or less, it is marked the key things in the sentence and identified them as key phrases. Okay, there could be many, like normally, your text will typically not be one sentence. It will run into a lot of sentences, a lot of pages probably, and then that time key phrases becomes a very important feature for us to extract the phrases to sort of get a summary of what my document is trying to tell me. All right. Okay. And again, same way, if you go down here, it has given you the API call which you can repurpose in your applications, which you can directly call in your applications. Okay. Going back, let us look at named entities. Okay, named entities. So in custom, okay, so we'll go to custom named entities a bit later when we are done with extracting named entities. So extracting named entities is where, it will extract names of people, names of landmarks, celebrities, locations, and all of those stuff for you to to identify, your major entities, major actors in your sentence or in your document or in your text corpus. Okay, so let us take one sentence for example. So our tour guide took us up the Space Needle during our trip to Seattle last week. Okay, and when I run this, I will get in my result. Okay, so named entities found was tour guide, which is of the type person. Location, so Space Needle is a location in Seattle. The name of the, again, Seattle is a place, right, in Washington. So then again, it has tagged that as a location. and last week it is tagged as date time. So it has identified entities and tagged them as that particular entity type on which it was trained on. Okay, so it was trained, so the model out of the box is trained to detect entities of type location, person, date, time, celebrities, landmarks, okay, those kind of things. You can also train the text to have your own entities. Okay, so if I want to train let's say a particular AI model on my own text corpus, where I want to define my own entities, like let's say if I'm trying to train a health bot, or a COVID-19 bot, in which case I would like to have the entities as diseases, their symptoms, journals, medicines, and all of these things. So those could be my entities. All right, so here out of the box, the entities are person type, location, date, time, and there will be a lot of other things, right? Geospatial indices, or organizations, right, or titles like CEO of XYZ organization, or celebrities, and sort of those things, right? So this is the named entity recognition. So it is recognizing entities. Again, go down, you will be able to see the API call which you need to make to get this sort of a functionality, okay, out of your text. Now we also can, go to sentiment analysis, okay, and opinion mining. This is a very beautiful thing, analyzing sentiments and opinion mining, right? So it will not only just analyze the sentiment of the entire text, okay, whether negative or positive or neutral, but it will also tell us how it reached that decision that your sentiment is negative or positive or neutral. So let's see a sample here. The noodles I ordered were soft and juicy, and the place was impeccably clean. Okay, you have an option here to enable opinion mining on or off. So I just would want to know the document sentiment in general. I wouldn't want to have opinion mining, or I can toggle this on to get in more insights into the sentiment analysis. How? Let us see. Okay. So as you can see, the document sentiment itself was positive, all right, okay, and then it is analyzed. So opinion mining, how it has done was the noodles, right? So noodles, that was the target. I ordered were soft and juicy. Soft and juicy were the assessment of the noodles, correct? And that is how the assessment, based on the assessment of the target, it has given me the sentiment as positive. So the noodles were soft and juicy, right? And then also the place was clean, correct? So which means the assessment of the target was positive, 100% positive. That is how I reached this confidence of 98%, and the document sentiment is positive, right? If you toggle the opinion mining off here and you just run this, it will just give you it will just give the sentiment, okay, but it will not tell you why it reached this sentiment if you don't toggle on the opinion mining. So it's very insightful, right? I mean, you completely know that it is analyzing the proper subject, and it is analyzing it using the proper assessments, okay. And then this is a fairly simple sentence, but then imagine when you have to get into analyzing financial sentiments, sentiments of financial reports, right, which are not very intuitive, okay, because let's say the words like high inflation is actually bad, okay, or increased rate of inflation or increased losses is bad, even though increased is a positive sentiment in itself, right? Increased gives us a sense of positivity, but then increased losses or increased inflation, okay, high rates of inflation are actually bad things. So which means, then opinion mining becomes important, because high rate of inflation, and then in that sense of financial sentiment, this is actually negative sentiment, right? So which is why opinion mining becomes important, that it doesn't just look at some certain keywords like increasing, decreasing, losses, profits, and stuff like that, but it also tries to understand the entire context of the sentence and then give us the document sentiment. All right, okay. Let us move back. So say you can I'm going to post this language studio URL also in our StreamYard, okay, and this will be your playground to experiment with all of the language offerings. You can have dynamic text summarization, and as we saw, opinion mining, language detection, with languages, your text in which your language in which your text is written. Okay, a question answering, so pre-built question answering to get questions, I mean answers from your text. Okay, and summarizing text. Okay, so summarizing text is your summarizing your documents, and you have a lot of configuration options here, like in how many sentences you want your summary of your text. Okay, and then we have the sorting option, order of appearance, first to last or last to first or low to high. Okay, and then you can for example, you see, right? So for example, I have entered the default option. I want the entire summary of this document in three sentences. This will require a bit of trial and error, right? Like how to select the number of sentences in which you want the summary, whether it is 20 or whether it is 3 and stuff like that. Okay, and then you can see this entire document. If I run the summarization, it is going to give me the summary in not more than three sentences. Okay, and then it will also try to tell you that how it reached this summary. So this summary, as you can see, the acquisition, some acquisition will accelerate Microsoft gaming business growth, and Microsoft will acquire Activision Blizzard. And when transaction closes, Microsoft will become the world's third largest gaming company, right? So this is the crux of the entire the paragraph, all right, and it is captured in the summarization. And yeah, and it is it is underlining the key sentences for this summary. Okay, and then giving you the scoring as well. Okay, the ranking as well. So yep, and then again here you can see the entire post API, right? So the entire in the post body you are giving your entire document here. Okay, giving your entire document. So this is also the post request you will be using in your application. Okay, now let us move. I'll give you a quick demo of our custom named entity recognition and custom text classification, and I'll just show you how easy it is to train your models on the portal itself. So custom text classification, custom named entity recognition are a bit advanced things for your for cognitive services startup, which is why I'm not diving into details, but I would just want to show you the ease of usage from the portal itself. All right. Okay. So you can see here, right? I have already a data set where, I yeah, where I have certain files. Okay, I can expand or be able to drag this, extend this. So I have a movie data set, a movie synopsis data set, in which I want to be able to classify my movies as the following categories: mystery, drama, thriller, comedy, action, romance. And you can also add your own tags, right? So here I can add like probably um, crime. Okay, okay, crime, something like that. Okay, right? And then you can tag these, because you can choose to tag your documents as multi or single class, right? So whether all these movies can fall into multiple categories or in a single category. And then I can say that, this, for example, this movie, I can read the synopsis of this movie, right? And then I can decide whether it is going to be comedy or a romance, or both comedy, romance. Okay, a rom-com, for example, or it could be an crime thriller. Okay, it could be a mystery plus drama, something like that, right? And then I can tag my document. So tag at least 15 10 to 15 document tagging is needed. And then once you tag your documents, okay, so you can move to the next document. Once you are done here tagging the document, you can just move here, next document, right? And you will be able to see the next document, and I can tag it as comedy, action, and romance. Okay, and then I can go to the next, right? And then I can yeah, I can again tag it, and then I can go next, and so on and so forth. Okay, I can tag my, and then I can actually whatever tags I add, I have to save those tags. And then I will tag my documents, at least 15 are needed. And then once I tag my documents, I can then just say train model from the portal itself. Okay, right? So I can train my model, okay? And once you, so once here I can say start training job, and I can enter the model name, so model 1 for example, okay? And automatically I'm specifying the split as 80/20, and I can click on train, okay? So it will train the model. I will be able to view the model details, what is the accuracy, what was the number of documents it trained on, okay? And I will be able to deploy model. So deploy model meaning, I will be able to publish the model with the endpoints and then consume the model in my applications again as a REST API. So the model will be, the trained model will be published as a REST API, REST service, and I can, consume that model in my application. So as you can see, it is very easy to do it on the portal itself, right? You can tag, define your own tags and then classify your documents in whichever way you want to. So this was for a movie synopsis. You can do it for any, like in your organization. The typical use case which we get is for classification of your service tickets, whether they are technical tickets or hardware software related tickets or their HR related tickets, and then you bucket those into different categories, right? So yeah, so that is one of the use cases. Another beautiful use case is where you are doing custom named entity recognition. So as I told you, right, for custom named entity recognition, we have our own document and we can define our own entities, right? So here again the same movie synopsis which we have, right? Okay, so in that movie synopsis, probably I want to define my own entities, like, in a movie, typically we will have a hero, a protagonist, right? A villain, which is an antagonist. We will have the female love interest or the male love interest. We will have year, author, date, time. We can define those entities. You can add the entities here. So I've defined protagonist, antagonist, female lead, date, time, author, year, and you can add other entities, and then you can tag, in this text, what are those entities, which part of the text is that entity. So let's say this Eva, okay, Eva and upper class XYZ, so she is the protagonist, so I'm can tag her as this, as a protagonist, okay? And then Eva learns basics and blah blah blah, she meets a charming man and XYZ, right? Okay, and then all of these things, and you can check, and then you can this guy, for example, is the antagonist, right? From the text itself you will come to know that, okay? And then you can tag whether the I mean, you can tag what was the year or what was the type, the genre of this, whether it was a period drama or it was a thriller or whatever that is. That can also be, a part of your entities, right? So as you can see, you can tag your text for all the documents. Same thing here. Let us here, Sean Rain, an ex-army officer. So he is the protagonist, right? And here, this guy, this person, it's an antagonist, okay? And then you can have these entities defined, and then you can, again, same thing, train your model, view your results, and boom, again, publish the API, be able to use it. All right. So this is the ease of use, of all your cognitive services. This was for language. Much the same way you will have for vision as well. Okay, so if you go to vision, you have optical character recognition, image analysis, spatial analysis. I will show you, some of the use cases for that. So for example, if you have an image already, right, what all you can do with vision, computer vision, cognitive services, is the image which you have given, you will be able to see the description of that image. So one liner description, okay? And then you will also be able to see if it contains any objectionable content, and then you will have tags, like how we extracted out key phrases from our text, right? Same way, an image will have tag for image tagging. So here the tags of the image are given here: water, skyscraper, outdoors, daytime, all those kind of things, that tags which describe the image, okay? And then you can have reading the text in an image, which is your optical character recognition. So if you have any text in the image, that will be extracted out, okay? You can read handwriting in an image, right? So if you have placards, or you have any post-its, notes, all the text on that will also be extracted out, okay? And finally you will be able to, like we have The same thing you will be able to extract from an image as well. You will be able to extract landmarks. So this is the Statue of Liberty. You will be able to extract this is the Golden Gate Bridge, San Francisco, and this is our beloved Microsoft CEO, right? And then it will be able to identify from an image all of these entities, right? Landmarks or celebrities and stuff like that. And it is able to recognize 200K celebrities, able to recognize 9,000 landmarks and from around the world. All right. So again, the API call is the same thing. You will be able to define the endpoints, the keys, give in the post request your image URL, okay, or binary base64 converted image file itself, and you should be able to get the response back into a JSON file. Okay, so computer vision face also works the same way. In face, you will call a face API, right? Instead of a custom computer vision API, you will be calling the face service, and then you will be sharing. You will be giving the file, okay, the image file, and then you will be getting back the attributes. Of course, if you want to train your face on, your API on some particular faces, first you'll have to train the model to sort of, recognize that this person is Priyanka, this person is Eva, and then it will be able to, like how your Facebook tagging works, right? I mean, if you tag your friends and stuff, same way, you will have to first train the model to recognize faces, and then we'll be able to recognize faces and be able to tag them accordingly. Okay. So let us look at one brief also, look at custom vision. So we are almost nearing the end of the hour. So in custom vision, much like your computer vision, you will have the custom vision portal, or like the language portal here. Language, you will have the custom vision portal, which is customvision.ai, and you can create your own projects there. Okay. And then you will be able to you will be able to upload images. So for here, I have uploaded images to train for Apple and Orange, right? Okay. Okay, and then I can add more images, for example, and then I'll teach my model to identify bananas. Okay. Okay, so I select all. Okay, and then I add a tag. So I added a tag, and I tagged all of the 15 images which I uploaded, 15 to 20 images I uploaded as banana. So which means I'm now teaching the model that, this is a banana, this is an apple, this is an orange. Okay. So now you see all of these 15 images, in different perspectives, different colors, shapes, sizes. I'm teaching the machine that these are bananas. Same way, if you look at apple. Okay, sorry. Same way, if you look at Apple, you will be able to see the different color, shades, size, shapes, orientations, perspectives. I'm tagging as Apple. And same way for orange. Okay, so different, varieties, different sizes, colors. I'm tagging as orange. So I'm teaching the machine basically that this is an orange. And once I'm done with that, I can, once I'm through with the tagging the images itself as apple or orange or banana, I can then, go to the a train part of it. Okay, so I can click on train, and then, I will be able to yeah, so I will be able to train my image, okay, my model, and then I will be able to then also be able to test it with images, right? So I'll be able to test it with images, and then see whether, I am able to get a acceptable precision or not. Okay. So this will cover the basics, right? The basics which we need to get started with the Azure Cognitive Services, whether it is language or whether it is vision. These are the most generic things, generalized things which we use in our solution. All right. Okay. So yep, there are a lot of fantastic things we can delve into, like form recognizer or personalizer or anomaly detector, but those we reserve for a more advanced session later on, when you're through with exploring the basics, the fundamental cognitive services, right? And then trying to use them to infuse AI in your applications. And then we will delve into all those more complex ones a bit later on. So any questions here? So we are almost, on time to sort of end this cognitive services session. Okay. So if you, if we were to delve into the details of cognitive services, just hold on. Not able to swap the presenter view. Okay. Yeah. So if we were to, delve into the details of how this cognitive services are actually implemented with all of the behind the scenes data science and the statistics, the dynamics which are going on, the coding dynamics, I'm sure, we all will be like this, falling asleep. So that's why just get your Azure subscription and get set go. You can easily call the cognitive services and infuse AI into your applications just by the click of a button. Get your REST API, pass in what type of service you want to use, pass in your text or your image, and then that's it. You have your JSON file and AI infused right into your application up. So, yep, I'll open the floor for questions, and if there are none, then you can, feel free to connect with me on my Twitter handle, on my LinkedIn, wherever is it, and we can take it up from there. Thank you.
Thank you a lot, Priyanka. That was really great. And we actually have a question from Sam, whose favorite service is the Lewis service. And about that, he has a question: whether can it detect sarcasm? I think you're muted, Priyanka.
Yeah, sorry, I was. Yeah, yes. So it's a very, very interesting question, right? It can, okay, but again, you have to train it as such, because again, a lot of capability of these models is limited. Okay, and then as I said, right, for financial analysis, it won't really understand that if I say I've suffered huge losses, it won't really understand that it's a negative sentiment. Okay, you have to have, so for finance sentiment analysis, you have finance BERT, which takes care of that sort of opinion mining or sentiment analysis. Same way, if you have a model which is built around ironic statements or sarcasm, yes, it can definitely detect that. Louis out of the box, no. If you say whether this statement was sarcastic or no, you can have a bot with a witty personality, right? But then, yeah, I mean, it won't tag it as sarcasm per se. You will have to train a sarcastic bot for that, probably.
That's really interesting, actually. Do you know if there are any documentation or someone who has tried it already to put this together?
Mm, no, no. So I mean, like there are a lot of versions of BERT models available, but none for detecting sarcasm for sure, right? And I would be glad, Sam, if you want to pair program and try to do this sort of an exercise, we can try it out.
Yeah, that sounds interesting. Maybe Sam could reach out to you on Twitter or something. Maybe Priyanka, you can share some links with us so we can put it in the chat. So people who would like to contact you for some more support, then they can reach out to you.
Sure, sure, absolutely.
So in the meantime, let's see if we have any more questions. Gosha, do we have any more questions?
No, in the chat, but I had a question. So, because there is a lot of services, which services are more popular with your clients?
Yeah, so as I said, right, Gosia, with clients, the most favorite services are the ones that are centered around the language. Okay, so because knowledge mining, as I said, is a popular field for enterprise document search, or for even for KYC documents in finance sector, which is why all the language services, whether it be dynamic text summarization or custom text classification or question answering, semantic search and semantic question answering are a favorite with a lot of my clients.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yes. And it's interesting to hear all these experiences from someone who is working with this day to day. And also, when are we going to see you, Priyanka, next time at conferences or meetup or such?
So Eva, you and me both are going to be the part of live audience in Build, right? The AI, into focus AI. Yep. So I'll see
Yes,
you
together
there
together with
as
Håkan, actually, just saying the other
her.
AI
Oh,
42
oh,
member.
right, right. Okay. Yeah. So I saw your name in the mail. Yeah. So we are going to be there, and I'm going to host a table talk at Build also for Auto ML. Like, is Auto ML the be all end all, or and how does it place the other skilled machine learning engineers if Auto ML is invading everywhere, encroaching everywhere? So that's a table talk which I'm looking to host in MS Build. And then let's see, Eva. Let's see if we can catch up again in Las Vegas for the fall conference.
Yes, that would sound good. Maybe how about in Kansas City in August?
I have not submitted for that.
Oh no. But we'll definitely meet next week at the Build conference.
Build,
I just shared the
yes.
screen in the chat as well. So I suggest to check that out so you can see all the cool news from Microsoft again. And with that, I'm not sure if we have any more questions. Gosha, did I miss something?
No, not more questions so far.
No. Then how about go back to our slide and show a little bit around what's going to happen in the following time.
Yeah, sure.
So I'm just gonna bring up our slide. Thank you. So we are about to organize our next conference for next part of the year is going to be in September, and we are looking for speakers who would like to share their industry experience in the field of AI or advanced analytics and machine learning and all these things. We will really would like to hear from you about what kind of projects you have been working with in what industry. So please submit your session. I'm going to share the link in the chat for you about that as well.
Is it virtual or in person?
This is going to be virtual for now,
Okay.
but
Okay.
it would be amazing to do this live at some point. Yes, that's the aim.
Okay.
Yeah, and we wanted to say thank you for everyone, for me, for Eve, and for Hakan that we're organizing this AI 42, and of course for Priyanka that create a great session about cognitive services today.
And I thank you as well, Priyanka, again for the great session.
No problem,
And
Eva. Garcia, thank you for doing this. It's a good initiative, so we can probably have something of the sort in SEA as well, CR region as well.
yes, and with that, just one last thing I wanted to mention. I shared a lot of links today. Sorry about that, but there was one at some point about a feedback form. So please, if you have some time, give us some feedback so we can improve our sessions for the next time. Thank you a lot again for everyone to join us.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank
Have a
you all.
beautiful day or evening, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye bye.